So y'all, today we're gonna be reacting to the fascinating lore of Rings in the Sonic series. And guys, this video is by KO Mix. And I ain't even gonna lie to y'all, this video has been heavily requested. And I actually meant to upload this sooner, but I'm currently sick with food poisoning, so you know, I'm never eating at McDonald's again. And that's also why I look like I got jumped in Grove Street that ran over by a bus. Then got stumped out again. And I'm gonna try not to be so hype in this video, because I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I feel kind of dizzy looking at this screen and the camera moving. Pop!
Welcome to Chow Mix. Have you guys heard of these things
Chow
called
Mix.
video?
Chow Mix! Wait, so is it Chow Mix or Chow Mac?
Welcome to Chow Mix. Have you
Yeah,
guys
Chow Mix, Chow like a cereal. Okay, I got you. My bad, brother. Okay.
heard of these things called video games?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
they're really cool. And after playing a few of them myself, I realized that a lot of them share many of the same core design
is this?
principles. For
Forever You
example,
Fall?
most of them have some sort of health system that tells you when your character is alive and when
Yeah.
it's not. Likewise, many games also have some sort of reoccurring collectible found throughout, usually used to increase your score.
Hey,
but then
fun
comes
fact, I got
bargaining
that
in
game.
Sonic
I
the
got-
Hedgehog to change the game,
Ah.
literally. For the first time, a game ingeniously fused its health system with its collectible system through the introduction of rings.
Hey,
No
I
longer
ain't
were
gonna
these
lie
two
to y'all,
mechanics-
can't lie, that is dope now. Whoever came up with that had to been on crack, bro. No same person is coming up with a collection system and then mixing it with a life system. That is genius.
Sonic separate entities. They became codependent, adding layers of complexity and strategy to the
Oh,
gameplay.
he got
It was
shot.
extremely innovative for its time. Sonic's rings aren't just objects you collect to satisfy that innate goblin instinct to hoard shiny things. They serve as your lifeline, your buffer against the many dangers that Sonic faces.
Then you
Scattered
die for
liberally
real.
throughout each zone, these rings added a sense of satisfaction,
here.
but also leniency to the game.
It's Sonic 06. The reason I asked is because I remember that logo right there. Okay,
Unlike
y'all.
most games where taking damage is a punishing setback that
Dang.
reduces your health,
That
Sonic's
thing's
rings offer
spin
players
the
a
block on
unique,
link.
forgiving approach. You could take a hit and not immediately lose a life as long as
Dang.
you had some rings on you. And because the rings you've collected would scatter upon being hit, you'd have
Bro,
a chance to pick them back
now
up
you
again,
did trash
giving
when you get hit
another
by
fighting
that now.
chance.
You
As
did
long as
horrible.
the player could manage to hold on to at least one single ring, they'd be
Bro.
able to withstand any hit.
That
Except
thing gave
getting
you a-
crushed. Don't get crushed. Rings
What if I do want to get crushed? What if I want to get smashed? I should have went to church tonight.
are an important part to Sonic's gameplay and can be found pretty much
That ain't my business.
Don't get crushed. Rings are an important part to Sonic's gameplay and can be found pretty much anywhere in abundance. So much so that I think we forget to stop and think, what the heck even are these things?
Exactly.
I mean, they magically float and rotate in the air,
Where they
appear
come
out of
from?
nowhere, and provide our heroes with quite a bit of power. When
The
you
Easter
think
Bunny
about
been
it,
dropping
rings
rings?
are actually quite mysterious.
He been
So
trapping?
join me today as we attempt to uncover the fascinating lore of rings.
You gotta be a bad drug dealer to drop all your supply. Hey.
This video is made possible by today's sponsor.
I got a vibe real quick. Chow Mix, I'm gonna let you finish, but hold on your intro fine.
This video is made possible by today's sponsor. Continue with today's episode.
Alright, like the
Listen,
video, I
little
watched that
Timmy,
whole thing.
I think it's time we had the talk.
Okay, what's
Where do rings come from?
Where they come from, buddy?
That's actually a good question. Where the heck do rings come from?
I don't know.
They're
I
all
gotta.
just kind of already there. They disappear when collected and mysteriously appear in all sorts of locations.
Exactly.
The natural paradise of Green Hill, the beach of Emerald Coast, the city of Speed Highway, the abandoned space colony Ark, the
Like, who
destroyed
dropping
future of
these
Crisis
joints?
City, and even alien planets such as Planet Wisp. The thing is, not even the head of Sonic Team, Takashi Iizuka, knows the answer to this question as admitted in interviews.
So how you come
Likewise,
up with
there's
it?
a funny scene from Sonic Generations where modern and classic tales discuss where Sonic puts all of his rings.
You ain't gonna wanna know, but I can tell you. Put them joke up in.
Nobody knows the answer to. Rings don't really have a straightforward explanation.
You
but what
right.
if I told you that at one point they almost did? The Sonic
for real?
Bible, an internal
a
document created by
Bible?
Sega of America that tried to
I can
establish a
worship
lot of
Sonic?
the early Sonic lore while taking a lot of liberties deviating from the original Japanese script, attempted their own explanation for the rings. Before Robotnik was an evil mastermind plotting to take over the world, he was
I'm
a
outta here.
kind-hearted scientist called Dr. Ovi Keentober.
Yes,
His
my
goal was
boy.
to create a machine which would use
Wait, OV King Toba. So where Robotnik come from then? That ain't his last name. Hold on, bro. Hold on. Bro, he has to pick a name. First his name was Dr. Robotnik. Then it was Dr. Eggman. And you mean mean to tell me ain't none of them in name Kangtober? His real last name Kangtober.
His goal was to create a machine which would use the Chaos Emeralds to absorb all of the evil in the world.
You
he would
serious?
then banish the emeralds into the icy core of the planet, rendering them completely harmless and the world evil-free.
So he was good.
Would cause his machine to go haywire, transferring all of that evil energy into the Doctor himself.
He became a
turning him
YN.
into Dr. Robotnik.
Yep.
This contraption consisted of thousands of golden rings, which cycled what the Doctor referred to as good karma throughout the machine. When the machine exploded, the rings would scatter across all of the different zones. And this is why we can find them out and about in the first game. But you see, the Sonic Bible was created by Sega of America before any kind of lore consistency was established. And
that's really a real thing, the Sonic Bible? Now y'all ain't tell me that, so you mean to tell me people on their knees every night praying to Sonic? Lord Sonic, please bless me with a new costume.
Between the West and Japan. Since then, Sega has obviously gotten a lot better about that kind of stuff, and this bit of lore was retconned a long time ago.
They don't even talk about
kind of
that.
Leaves us where we started. So rings seem to be an absolute enigma in the Sonic universe. But that's not gonna stop us from trying to figure them out.
Let's do it
if
then.
the Chaos Emeralds managed to get some crazy backstory in Sonic Frontiers, I think the rings deserve something too.
They do! Come on, how you gonna have these rings scattered around flying? We don't know why they flying, but they flying and we getting them. And y'all wanna know the craziest part, bro? We don't know if they gonna kill us or not. We just grab them. It's really like the rings speak volumes without even speaking. But y'all, since he said that Sega got rid of, the original lore story about the rings, doesn't that mean that his name wasn't Kangtober? It's just Dr. Robotnik now? AKA, what I'm trying to say is that Dr. Kangtober does not exist. It's just his original name was Dr. Robotnik. But y'all, I cannot lie. The whole thing with the experiment going wrong and him trying to make this good system, that is a very interesting backstory. And even though I don't really know anything about Sonic, bro, I think I would rather have that backstory. It's kind of like Ice King from freaking Adventure Time. When he put the crown on, he became Ice King. You get what I'm saying? It makes more sense.
Practically the first thing you see when loading into the very first level of Sonic 1. I'd argue they're almost just as important. Because despite their mystery, characters use their powers all the time like it's nothing, never questioning their existence. For example, their most common use is acting as a buffer for almost any kind of damage. And this is used by pretty much every single Sonic protagonist. About to fall straight into a pit of spikes? Get punched in the face by a giant robot? No problem.
It's not even
as long as you have at least a single ring, you can take the hit over and over again. Also, a lot of people associate Sonic's super form with the power of the Chaos Emeralds, and rightfully so. However, the role that rings play into this insanely powerful transformation is often overlooked. If you really think about it, the Chaos Emeralds are completely useless in transforming Sonic into a super form unless you have 50 rings.
What?
So sure, the Chaos Emeralds are the catalyst, but the rings are essentially the fuel that maintains this form. And maintaining such a powerful form is...
You gotta have 50 rings and all the Chaos Emeralds to go super. Y'all always thought that as long as you had the Chaos Emeralds, you could always go super. I thought the rings didn't mean anything. That is insane.
No easy task. As we can see, Sonic's ring count constantly drains when it's in a super state, as ring energy is used to sustain the transformation. Speaking of ring energy, it's also what allows Sonic to boost at supersonic speeds.
For
real?
In
almost all of the boost games, collecting rings fills Sonic's boost gauge. Hell, in Sonic Unleashed, Sonic's boost gauge literally says ring energy, which further emphasizes their importance.
Unleashed!
Without ring energy, Sonic would be much slower, less powerful, would be defeated way easier, and straight up wouldn't be able to perform some of his most incredible
feats. He'd be soft.
But besides providing power, rings also serve as a form of currency in Sonic's world. Look at how Sonic uses them to buy things like the various power-ups in Sonic 06, the food items in Sonic Unleashed, and the abilities in Sonic Generations. There's even a level in Shadow the Hedgehog's Circus Park filled with rings stolen by Dr. Eggman.
Yo,
this could explain how Eggman constantly has funds to build...
Yo, we thought Tails and freaking... I would never have guessed that Tails and Shadow actually get along. That is insane. Because y'all, they are complete opposites, bro.
Colossal bases and armada of giant, very expensive looking robots.
Okay, hey, Ryan Reynolds.
So sure, you could just say rings are a simple video game system that don't really matter in the grand scheme of things and call it a day. But you can't deny how reliant even our main character is on them.
Hold on. I wasn't listening. What OST is that? What the freak?
You could just say rings are a simple video game system that don't really matter in the grand scheme of things and call it a day. But you can't deny how reliant even our main character is on them.
Yep.
I really don't think rings are something characters aren't conscious of. Because if these were only important in a video gamey context, how do you explain all the times they appear in the non-video game mediums, like the TV shows, comics, and movies? Especially considering that it's sometimes here where we even get a bit of lore. Sure, it isn't necessarily canon, but maybe it can help point us in the right direction.
There's literally a game called Sonic and the Secret of the Rings, isn't it? Yo, that game canon?
So let's take a look at how these instances tried or didn't try to explain the rings. Rings appear very briefly in the adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, making this their first TV appearance.
This DVD.
Funny enough, they're blue here for whatever reason and used to take shortcuts in the special zone.
Sonic
Nothing too crazy, but then again, this show isn't particularly known for its deep diving into the Sonic lore. It's actually in the Sonic SatAM series that the origin of the rings takes an interesting twist. Created by Sonic's Uncle Chuck, Power Rings surface from a special body of water known as the Lake of Rings.
Uncle Chuck! Yo, I haven't seen Uncle Chuck in so long. Why he got eyebrows?
Power Rings surface from a special body of water known as the Lake of Rings. A machine invented by Uncle Chuck and placed at the bottom of the lake generates one of these rings every 24 hours. A rate later doubled to every 12 hours. These power rings possess an intense amount of energy, and Sonic, being the only one that can utilize their power, often relies on them to temporarily enhance his speed and strength. And
Sonic don't got eyebrows? So how Uncle Chuck mama been a gooner?
Double to every 12 hours. These power rings possess an intense amount of energy, and Sonic, being the only one that can utilize their power, often relies on them to temporarily enhance his speed and strength and face off against Dr. Robotnik. Not only do these rings supercharge Sonic, but they also possess the capacity to partially reverse the effects of roboticization, restoring free will to the victim. The Archie comics had their own explanation of the rings too. Artificially manufactured by scientist Nate Morgan, the rings would be mass-produced to power the Kingdom of Acorn. This would push it into
Hey, we gotta talk about them Archie comics, because some of y'all been cooking the IDW comics saying that the Archie comics are way better. And low-key, I'm not gonna lie to you, that kind of made me want to do both comic books so I can like see the difference of the two. Because if I be honest with you, I don't see it getting no better than the IDW. Right now, I can't even imagine a way that Archie could be better. Let me know if y'all want to do that.
Prosperous age. Sonic X also has a unique use and origin of the rings. Sonic is able to use the rings once again to temporarily enhance his speed and strength. Mainly, Sonic uses the rings to enter a state called Super Spin Mode.
That is right.
It's used differently. Projectile that can pierce even the toughest of Eggman-manufactured steel. Again, only Sonic is able to utilize their powers, at least in this way. There are a few instances where rings are used as power sources for various machinery. But most interestingly, Sonic X gives us a hint at their potential origins. The rings seem to possess hints of chaos energy, because according to Tails, they're produced by the Chaos Emeralds themselves. The Sonic movies would also feature rings, with another interesting twist.
He can teleport with the rings.
Rings are used to warp to different areas, as seen in Sonic's origin story when fleeing to Earth from the Echidna tribe on his original planet.
I want to talk to y'all about this. We got an audience for this now. I need to talk to somebody about this. And y'all, I have been holding this in for so long. But why didn't Longclaw go with Sonic the Green Hill Town? What would she possibly think? She did not have to die. She could have went in there with him. She could have carried him and flew in there before they even caught up to them. Y'all gotta explain that to me, because right now it seems like she's stupid. I'm not gonna lie.
Tails is also shown to have and use these rings in the second movie, when agreeing to free Eggman from his entrapment on the Mushroom Planet. Rings even appear in Sonic Prime as well.
Sonic
Prime?
In
the first episode, Sonic is shown gathering rings before confronting Eggman in order to protect himself. This is probably the most one-to-one representation of the rings when compared to the game.
Yeah.
Among the various attempts to give rings a backstory outside of the video games, the ones that resonated with me the least were the ones where the rings were artificially manufactured, like in Archie or Sonic SatAM. These man-made origins just kind of take away from the magical essence that the rings have in the video game universe. However, the explanation in Sonic X really stood out to me, and that's not just because Sonic Team had direct involvement with the show's production.
It's like a
boost. It feels like the logical explanation given what we know about the games. The concept of rings being byproducts of the Chaos Emeralds actually makes way too much sense for it to not be the canon explanation. When you think about it, the rings have always functioned as a guide, leading us towards the Chaos Emeralds within many of the games. For instance, take the giant ring at the end of the stages in Sonic 1. It acts as a teleporter to the special stage where Chaos Emeralds.
The rings do. I had a hiccup. It do work as a teleporter, and sometimes you can even jump in it, or you can just run by it. I just remembered that. Well, in fact, my mom had the system that this right here came on, and I currently have the mobile version on my phone. I have cried plenty nights over this game, bro. It's so difficult, because if you die, you gotta start all the way over.
Emerald can be grabbed.
I'm gonna let
Sonic
you cook.
2, when you pass through a checkpoint with 50 rings, a portal opens up that can take the player to a special stage, where again, you can obtain a Chaos Emerald. And let's not forget the hidden giant special rings in Sonic 3, which offer yet another way to snag yourself an emerald. The recurring theme is clear.
Get 40
All
rings.
Evidence points to the rings having a direct connection to the Chaos Emeralds. And them being connected to the emeralds actually explains so much about their powers. It's why they're able to protect our main characters from harm and require to obtain and maintain Sonic's super state. It would also explain why characters in Sonic Adventure 2's multiplayer can perform certain abilities only
tell me Eggman been opium?
After collecting a certain amount of rings. Hell, Sonic and Shadow can literally use Chaos freaking control with the power of the rings. And that's because they have remnants of
Sonic
Chaos
did
energy,
do Chaos
making
Control.
them comparable to the power of the Chaos Emeralds when collected in bulk. But
In the
here's
Sonic
the catch.
Adventure
Unlike Chaos
2.
Emeralds, which are like the Energizer Bunny of never-ending power, rings are more like a one-and-done deal. They're your quick hit of energy, but once you use them, poof, their power is spent. They can give you what you need in a pinch, but aren't the infinite powerhouses that Chaos Emeralds are. At least that's my take. Rings have always been something that the games have just kind of pushed under the rug. There's so many of them, but yet no explanation on what they really are. And you encounter them so often, you kind of forget how important of a role they play. The rings, in my eyes, are almost as important as the Chaos Emeralds. I mean, think of how many pinches they've gotten our heroes out of. But despite this, you never really see anyone talk about these things outside of being a simple video game collectible.
They don't.
Well, I say it's time that changed. Anyways, that's gonna be it for today's video. If you liked it, make sure to leave a—
But so far in Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic has not mentioned rings. But in the movie he did, and I remember in Sonic X he did, and the Sonic animated series he did too. That's actually crazy that he did not mention the rings in any games, but he did in the movies and in the TV series. Y'all can't lie, that's crazy. It's almost like they're explaining piece by piece what the rings can do, and Sonic is just using different abilities that the rings actually have. But y'all, one thing I don't get is that when you get hit again, after you done lost your rings, bro, they leave quicker. And it's crazy that we actually don't have an explanation for that either.
A fat like and subscribe for more way past cool Sonic content such as this. In the comments below, let me know what you think the origin story is for the rings.
Shoot, I'll tell you right now. Let's cook, y'all. I got you, brother. Yes, sir. Hold on. Let me cook. Hold on. I wanna eat a ring so I could see if I would have unlimited ring powers. Instead, whoever finds my comment on this video gets a shout out. Let's get it. Come on, let's Chow Mix, my brother. You freaking did your thing. It is insane, y'all, how there is so much depth and lore to Sonic. Like, if you look at it, bro, you'd think, oh, it's a blue hedgehog that's fast, that stops this big man that look like a whopper from destroying the world and taking it over. But if you look deeper into it, you open the book more and dig deeper, you find out more. And you also see that there's more than meets the eye, bro. I don't know if I used that right, but you know, I heard people use it before, so I'm gonna use it that way too. And truth be told, I really feel like the only way they could really explain this is if they make like a freaking lore book that's canon. They have to make a book and explain everything and then say that it's canon. That's the only way they can explain this, bro, because everything, it's kind of mixed up. Dang, Chow, you from Chicago? We gonna go and blow New Jersey up. But hey, y'all, that's the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, reacting to this, and you know my commentary as much as I did making this. And if you did, go to freaking mash the like button and go ahead and subscribe to join the Keyblade Master family. Thank y'all so much for telling me about this video. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm not gonna lie, this right was really fun. I'm gonna go back and get in my bed, because you know, as you can see, I'm sweating and everything, you know. Pray for me, please. I love y'all. LaShawn out. Gang.